In this short presentation, we show you the mathematical plans of God using the Jewish calendar from the time of Jesus, the Jewish calendar from present day, and our next 7 years 2024 to 2030. So without delay, let's get started. We lay out a timeline placing the 7 days of creation, and the 8th day concerns the end times, the last 7 years before God wipes the earth clean with fire. Next, we place the 6,000th years that we have been on earth, and we are about to enter the 7,000th year in 2030. We place on our timeline the Jewish calendar years from the time of Jesus, and we have placed the birth of Jesus and John the Baptist on day 2, highlighted in red. And notice on year 8, the year is 3761, which shows the new start of creation, as God wipes the earth clean with fire and renews all things. So we go from the old creation, 3761 BCE, to 3761, the new creation. We place on our timeline the next 7 years 2024 to 2030. We now place on our timeline the current Jewish calendar years. This completes the timeline layout. Now John the Baptist was born in the year 3755, highlighted in red, 6 months before Jesus, and John the Baptist prepared the way for the arrival of Jesus. Jesus was born 3755, highlighted in red, 6 months after John the Baptist. Jesus starts his ministry at the age of 30, so we add 30 to the year 3755, and we have the date 3785, the year Jesus starts his ministry. Jesus will return in 2030, and another John the Baptist will come first to prepare the way for Jesus. And God has perfectly placed in the Jewish calendar a man who will prepare the way, and that person is Donald Trump. What a load of rubbish, you might say. But watch this. On the same line as John the Baptist, Donald Trump sits in the current Jewish calendar, 5785, we have highlighted in red. He will become president the 20th of January 2025. Donald Trump will be 78 years, 5 months and 5 days old, matching the Jewish calendar year 5785. When he was last president in 2017, his age was 70 years, 7 months and 7 days old. The calendar year in 2017 was 5777, matching the Jewish calendar year perfectly. So, John the Baptist came 6 months before Jesus started his ministry, 3785. Donald Trump starts his presidency, 5785 exactly, 2,000 years separation, and the numbering is a perfect mathematical sequence, matching one another, and it will be 6 years to when Jesus returns, completing a perfect alignment with Donald Trump and John the Baptist. Now think about this, as we see the figures laid out in front of us before creation, before the Jewish calendar starts in 3761 BC. God had planned the mathematical layout, and to incorporate Donald Trump's birth dates in the Jewish calendar, especially to line up perfectly with Jesus, it proves beyond any doubt God plans out your life before you are born. Now God confirms 3 times the year 2030, and also confirms all 3 calendars are accurate. The old Jewish calendar from the years of Jesus, the current Jewish calendar, and our current year calendar 2024 to 2030, and finally proves this timeline is undisputable, and all proven by God, showing us his great mathematical works. Look at the bottom box's left-hand side. The difference between 54 and 24 is 30. The only link we have to 30 on our timeline layout is 2030. Doing this calculation across the whole timeline show the same figure, giving us the first confirmation to 2030. The next box along we have 3755 and 5785, the birth date of Jesus and the birth date of Trump. Deduct 3,755 from 5,785, you are left with the year 2030. This applies to all days across our timeline, giving us the second confirmation. The next box along we see 2026 and 5786. Deduct 2026 from 5,786, you get the figure 3,760, which is set on day 7. Do this across the whole timeline, you get the same result, giving us the third confirmation, the year 2030. Now finally God gives the confirmation that all 3 calendars are accurately placed. Look at the bottom box on the right-hand side. We have 3,760 and 2030. Now add these figures together and we get 5,790, confirming that the first 2 calendars perfectly match to the last calendar, proving these are accurate and perfectly placed together. Now to finish off, you can see added to our timeline 6 down to 0. This obviously is a countdown to 2030. And from the bottom box's left-hand side, you can make those following calculations throughout the timeline, and it reduces every day. So the facts are undisputable. This information within the timeline is incredible, and only God has the wisdom and ability to do this. Now you have seen the great mathematical planning in God's creation. A calendar which started at the time of creation, 3761 BC. Within this calendar, all life was calculated mathematically. Within this calendar, God has proven his plan, showing us the calculations with Jesus, John the Baptist, and Donald Trump with the mathematical links within our timeline. God confirms 3 times the year 2030, and all his calculations prove the timeline is accurate. If you would like to see the full version, a more in-depth look, go to my YouTube channel page, Steve Bagmaker, and type in the new evidence. There is a short version and a full-length version, which covers future events backed up with Bible scripture. It's a fabulous journey. I thank God for allowing me to be shown his mathematical plan, and I hope it brings you joy. Knowing you will have the privilege of seeing the return of Jesus. Have a safe journey to 2030. God bless.